All right. Mil-Spec Ops Monkey here again. Sorry about that. I had my mic muted and I didn't realize that. So thank you guys. All right. So you guys see my mouth moving and you're not hearing anything. And I was just transmitting. So, alrighty. So, hey, welcome everybody. I just wanted to go through this. This is incredible. So I've been watching the apps for probably about 3 years now, maybe a little bit more. I've been actually watching them a lot longer than that, but I've been actively watching them doing this stuff for about 3 years. And so the normal aircraft that we see here is typically about 250 is about the amount of military aircraft that we see up at any given time. And I actually had left the house this morning and left my app open, and I came back and was just flabbergasted at the quantity that's up. So we're sitting at 1,080 military aircraft up right now. And so that is, we're way more than what we normally see. So I'm going to kind of do a little deep dive in on some of these just to take a look around while we're looking at that. And then what you guys have been waiting for, we're going to go look at Guantanamo Bay. And I'm going to show you guys the activity that we've been seeing. And I'm going to show you the aircraft that just popped up, as well as some of the other known prison locations, so that we can really kind of get a feel for what's happening. So here we go. All right. So it looks like this one right here, that is Order 66. That's going to be Night Watch. And so Night Watch is the Doomsday aircraft. That is the 747-200 that looks very similar to Air Force One. That plane is flying whenever Trump is out and about. That's usually up. So that's not uncommon to see it, but it's up. We've got, as you can see, the helo activity right now. Just this area alone is off the chains. I mean, so we've got probably 10 just in the Northeast alone between Minneapolis and Detroit, which that's about half of what we usually see up, period. So now this area, we're going to delve into Texas. And so Texas, this may be part of it right here. That's a sea of trainers, what you're seeing. These are all T-38s, X-2s. So all of this stuff down here in San Antonio area, there's a lot of trainer aircraft flying right now. Same here. This is up in Wichita Falls. That's also heavy duty trainers. So there looks to me like, I mean, the trainers may actually account for half of what we see on our screen right now. So, but that still would put our number at 500 airplanes up. But these are lawn darts, little T-38 trainers. So quite a few. So that's a lot of trainers. I don't know why we have so many trainers up. Honestly, I've never seen this many trainers up in my life. So it's ludicrous. Look at the amount. I mean, these look like ants. This is just, look at the amount of helo trainers that are up right now. Ridiculous. I mean, it's so much clutter in the sky. Seriously, this looks like ants. They're just, it's insane. I've never seen that many training. This is a pretty well-known training aircraft operation site. So that's definitely all trainers. Same thing with this. These are all trainers. So I don't know. I don't know. It's nuts. But still, even that, we still have a lot of airplanes up. So, all right. So let's just gander back. Okay, here is, that's going to be like out of North Georgia, South Tennessee area. We've got a free ship of C-130s coming out. So that's probably moving troops. Another B-52. I see, actually, you can see where this thing's pinging along. These little lines and the dots are every time it bounces off the satellite. Okay. So I want to say four B-52s up. Yeah, it looks like we got 4 of them up right here. So not not uncommon. Barksdale's right here. That's close to Barksdale Air Force Base, so probably common. Up here in the northeast, we've got Pax River, which is also another naval training area. So, but let's see what kind of aircraft we got. C2s, fighter. Got a couple Golf 5s on the ground stacked. Go look at this. All on the runway. So I'm actually able to see ground traffic too. So the dark gray is going to be ground traffic. So Air Force 2. And got a somewhere there's a B-52 flying around this too. I'm not seeing it on the map, but it's showing over here on my at 22,000 feet. Oh no, never mind. I'm actually locked onto that one that was north of us. So okay, that's why it's on the map. So a couple SAM flights. So pretty interesting. That's that's one of the AS-65s on the ground. These are H-60s flying. Like they're see what they're interesting. All right. All right. So here's what we really wanted to talk about. So I just want to show you that. Like I said, I've never seen over 1,000 up at one point. That's insane. And just think, we're not seeing, so there are a lot of tankers up too right now, and we're not seeing the real fighters. We see a couple of them, but not we're seeing trainers. We're not seeing the real fighters. So just food for thought. So keep an eye on that. I think something's definitely about to pop just based on what I'm seeing. So okay. C-130. So this is teal. That's a little C-130 that's down. That's a weather. They're actually looking. There's a hurricane that's down here about to smack Central America. That's the Cat 4. That's what that's doing down here. Got a couple helos down here in the San Juan, Puerto Rico area. Those are H-60s and an EC-45. And then we've got a C-130J. Looks like it's coming out of Puerto Rico. So, all right. So that's the Caribbean. We're going to dip our toe in the water. Let me exit out of that. All right. So this is what we were wanting to look at. So Guantanamo Bay. So I told you guys last week, I said, hey, we are seeing a ton of activity going on right now with the known farm birds, right? These are birds that we've been tracking in the past. I'm going to show you, I'm going to give you just a little taste of lead up to that, okay? Kind of a recap. So if you remember back when Epstein didn't kill himself, okay? There was a tail number. These are the tail numbers, N331CK and N730CK, okay? These things were flying around down to the spa, down to the black sites, all around the time Epstein didn't kill himself. And so the yellows, and this is when Epstein suicided himself on the red one right here, okay? But these airplanes were just north when that took place, and then all of a sudden they ended up showing up at Guantanamo Bay. So definitely something up with that, okay? So again, this was around the time Epstein, and before, we had a flurry of black site activity going on. And so that N331CK went out to, these are all known black sites, okay? So you got Kingston, Jamaica, and out here at Haiti, Port-au-Prince, down here in Trinidad, the other side of Cuba, which is not Guantanamo Bay, but another location on the island of Cuba, which is international, the Bahamas. And so now here's why this is important and why I say that, okay? These, I believe, are rendition flights, okay? And that's the bad term for that is called torture flights, okay? And so what they do is they pop up out of Miami, they fly about 20 minutes, they level off, and they're over international airspace and water, and they're on a charter. And so they pretty much can do whatever they want to do to you. And so then once they interrogate you, they park you out at one of these black sites and they get more information out of you. And then sometimes they bring you back with what they call a kill switch, or they will put you at Guantanamo Bay. And so, but here it is, another one. Now this This is all, you can see how these planes will change tail numbers in the middle of flight. Okay, so I'm just trying to show you. This one was blocked, so they basically said blocked on it, flying from here over to here. And then it was flying back. We didn't know. It flew back under one call sign, and then mid-stroke changed to another call sign. So they do this a lot to try and throw us off, so you can't really pinpoint their location. So that said, last week we started watching the activity for these aircraft, and I'm going to pull this up real fast and show you. This is the same, right? We went over this last week. This is Kalitta Charters, and I told you every time I see this stuff start to happen, there's an uptick of these black site locations by the farm birds. Then somebody gets arrested and it pops into the news. And so we've been watching. I said, watch the spa, because that there's going to be an out of sequence bird popping in there in no time. Okay. And so this one went down to Puerto Rico, right? Miami to this location. And so that's one of them. Okay. But if we look at the flight log on this, okay, we started around November 7th, and then it started going into Kingston, Jamaica, Port-au-Prince, Haiti, right? And so it just kept doing the same flights back and forth to these little black sites, okay? And that's why I said watch the spa, because something's about to pop, okay? And so I said that was on, I think, Friday, okay? I said, or Thursday. That it's any day now. All right, so now we're going to go to Guantanamo Bay, and I'm going to show you this little jewel just popped in. Now, this is a little Gulfstream aircraft. It's a nice aircraft. I think at one point it used to be owned by the CDC, and this company bought it. Now, it primarily flies medical flights. Doesn't always have to be medical flights, okay? If it's all that's available and they need it, you know, it's ideal. That thing is got some giddy up to it, and it looks pretty cool. It's a good looking plane, right? So I have seen this plane in the past. It's not, you know, like 3 years ago, I probably saw this aircraft, but this is a new one. I haven't seen it in a long time. And so it's operated by Phoenix Air. So just to show you guys what Phoenix Air is all about, okay? So Phoenix Air is kind of like a contractor. Think of them like Blackwater, but for the aviation services, okay? They do a lot of stuff for the military. They have air ambulances, as you can see this one, you could have patients. This is inside one of the aircraft, okay? Which is a kind of cool, right? So, but they do, over here on the military side, they do all kinds of crazy stuff. So you can see some of the things that they're embedded in, from airborne services where they're doing support operations to electronic warfare simulation, range clearing. That's where they basically fly around and make sure nobody's out on the range that's getting ready to go hot. But these guys are pretty cool. I mean, it looks like a pretty cool company. But the reason I say that is they are already very familiar with special operations for military, right? And so when you see these aircraft pop in, it doesn't necessarily mean it is a medical flight. But you go through a process of elimination and you look at this aircraft and where it came out of. Now, if it were to originate in Guantanamo Bay and go to, say, Fort Lauderdale, then I would say, okay, probably pulling somebody off. It was, you know, similar to the one that came out of Tampa a couple weeks ago, where they had a med flight that flew into Guantanamo Bay and then went to Fort Lauderdale. So basically like a life flight, right? So somebody probably had an emergency. They had to take them off island, or something else happened, right? But when you have it originate out of Washington, D.C. to Guantanamo Bay, very, very unusual. So that tells me, because now you're taking somebody down there that requires medical attention. So I'm just kind of going through just brainstorming here, but what kind of things would require that, right? You have somebody that it may be elderly that requires medical attention, that requires special treatment, that you can't put them into an aircraft normal configuration. So therefore, maybe they need an IV drip, and they have to have somebody get them down there. Somebody that may have, an elderly type person that may require that's having some health issues. So not really usual to see that. So just a data point, something to think about. So when the news or something breaks here soon, which I think something is going to happen, then you'll kind of have a background on this and you go, ha, we saw that plane go in. Okay. So that is one of them. All right. And so I expect to see more, honestly. And so we're going to just take a quick look here. I want to see, wait, I want to save that site. Go over here and I'm going to look at the other 730 CK, which is the other known bird, Alita bird. And I just want to see if it's still, looks like it's still in the same sequence. All right. Yeah. So this one's just been doing round robins. So between Cincinnati and Richmond. So it looks like that one's still on contractor status, just doing regular tempo stuff. Okay. So that is Guantanamo Bay. It's really the only thing that's popped up. So this plane originated, looked like it took off out of Cartersville, which is that's CDC, that's Atlanta, north of Atlanta. Went to Washington, D.C., picked up somebody in D.C., went to Guantanamo Bay. Okay. Then it's scheduled this afternoon, actually pretty soon here. It's going to be departing Guantanamo Bay to Fort Lauderdale, back to Cartersville, which is where they're housed out of. Okay. So, okay, there's that. All right. And we're going to go look at MBW just to get it on the board. Arrivals scheduled. Let me look down here real fast, just sometimes it doesn't show. Nothing there. I want to make sure I cover everything. Okay. Now this one right here, H-25B. This is the plane. We've talked about this one in the past. I want to just take a look and see where this plane's going to, because this one I think is doing some of the legwork similar to N331. So we're going to take a look and see where it's going. But this is the one that was seen flying, that we suspect carried Maxwell. Okay. So N31 FU. All right. Okay. Let's take a look at the flight log on this. All right. So this one looks like it's headed up to DC this morning as well. Interesting. So now you've got a second aircraft going to Washington, D.C. That's different than the one that just came out, right? So that rolled in at 7:12. So now got another asset that's sitting in D.C. that is probably getting ready to come down to Guantanamo Bay. So we're going to keep our eye out for this one, okay? That looks to me like it's pre-positioned, and it arrived this morning. So before that, it went to Pierco International, which is Port of Spain. Okay. Remember the other one went down. Same thing. Trinidad and Tobago. So there's our black sites. Okay. That looks like Virginia. Virgin Islands. Sorry. So it went to Virgin Islands. Let's see here. Virgin Islands. Guantanamo Bay. That was on the 8th. All right. So you guys seeing a trend now, right? So we've got, and so these aircraft, let me tell you about these aircraft. They're sporty, okay? They fly high altitude, they fly long range, they are fast. They're like a little fighter, okay? They can land on short runways. They're the perfect aircraft to put a small security team, throw a couple operators on, and take in a HVT, okay? A high value target. That is like, if you had your plan, your worst case is you get on a Cessna. Best case is you're on one of these, okay? And so to see that kind of activity, okay, now we know this one's pre-positioned in DC. All right, so something's about to go down. Now, my opinion, Monkey's opinion, IMO, all right, I think that now my understanding is the first public arrest is going to shock the world. So I think it's one of two people, just through process of elimination. And that is, it's either going to be a Barack Obama because he was never president and he was a Kenyan, and that's going to shock everybody, or it's going to be a Joe Biden and he can't be president because he's been arrested for all of his money laundering and political schemes. So that's who I think we're going to see pop in there first. Now, the other thing too is I was saying from DC on a med flight coming down, if say for example they went to do a takedown of HVT and that HVT got injured, was accidentally shot or intentionally shot because they tried to flee, or they may have shot themselves, right? Then that would require medical attention, and you're not going to just put that person on a commercial charter flight, and fly them down. You're going to get aircraft like this or a medical one to take them down. So, all right, data point, okay? So now we're going to go here. I want to show you guys XPL. Okay, I was on XPL. All right. So XPL Honduras is a secondary prison location. It was a location that was in the National Defense Act 2020, where they did a case study and they spent about $40 million to determine whether this location or Kwajalein Atoll was going to be an alternate to Guantanamo Bay. And so I think this base has been activated because here's why. I've been seeing more of these supply runs. So these Reach aircraft, that's Air Mobility Command, they call them Reach. I've seen several of those coming out of Charleston and Fort Benning. That's probably troops right there from Benning. Charleston's probably a supply. Kelly Field, San Antonio is probably troops. MacDill Air Force Base is probably supply run. So this Shark 67 we saw go to Guantanamo Bay the other day, that is troops, okay? So they're staffing up troops, and so is Guantanamo Bay. What does that tell you, okay? Now, this little N8 Bravo, take a look here real fast. N8BG, this is like a little Cessna, okay? It's run by a company called Colonel Science LLC. That doesn't have the agency's name all over it. I don't know what does, okay? And so this plane, what I believe is happening is, notice this location, this LCE. I'm going to show you here in a second where I think one of our birds, we just had one of those, if it was this one. I was watching it over the weekend, make a flight into Honduras. Let's see if it went to that location. Because then what that'll tell me is they're flying them into a remote location, not going all the way in. Then they send this little Cessna over to pick them up. So 1CK. So we're going to look at that real fast. All right, so where is my Honduras? Right here. I think that's it. Yeah, it's on. All right, let's see where that shows on Kingston to, no, I went down. So that's pretty close to our other base location. So that one, that's our CIA bird, right? And so it went from, looks like actually Honduras to Kingston, Jamaica. So it went to a black site. So interesting. All right. So we're seeing the connecting the dots here, right? You're seeing this other Honduras stuff as well. Now all of a sudden Honduras is connected to Kingston, and Kingston's connected to, we've seen it already connect to Guantanamo Bay. And we know San Juan, Puerto Rico is a place where they're holding detainees awaiting trial. So this is getting pretty interesting, actually. It's like watching a soap. So, all right. So that, you can see this one. So what this one does is it basically goes from XPL Honduras to the outer cities within Honduras, other prison locations. And I think what's happening is these guys are getting processed, tried, convicted, or whatever it may be, and then they're sending them to their home state prison, which is the worst place you want to go. It's like being locked up abroad, in Turkey, where the guards are all corrupt. There's no food. There's not enough food to feed people, and you get shanked every other day. So, and then this one, I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to pull this up because I saw this pop on too. Now, if you guys remember, 2 weeks ago when I pulled up XPL, there was nothing. Around the time of the election, there was no activity going on. XPL was pretty much blank. So, but let me see where this one's going. I'm not really sure what we're looking at here. It doesn't have a lot of information on it. Yeah, I don't know. This is another one. They're probably using that. It's HRVIP, which, what does that tell you? That's kind of an interesting going to XPL. So anyway, we'll keep an eye. We'll see if we can find out more about that on. Okay, so there are our flights. Now I'm going to take us over real fast. We're just going to look at the ports at Guantanamo Bay, see what's coming. And sorry, you know, every time I get on live, my son comes over on his motorcycle, so and he pulls up right next to the garage. He knows I'm live, so tells you the relationship. So anyway, all right, looks like we don't have anything in port. Let me. Nope. Guantanamo Bay is empty, so we don't have anything there. Okay, interesting. Don't have anything arriving. Nothing on the docket. So okay. All right, back to the skies real fast. So it looks like, guys, I think we got something coming here. I think we're getting ready to see some news on. I think maybe the Durham stuff is about to be active live. I think we're getting ready to see it just based on the activity I'm seeing here, all of the stuff going to the black sites, the increase in activity, and also all of the pre-positioning of staffing and troops and stuff going to the prison locations. So this is amazing. I mean, seriously, I don't think I've ever. This is almost looking like a commercial, like I had the commercial tab set. I mean, that is a lot. Just look at Florida, all the helo activity over Florida right now. Just that's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Like a bunch going on in Tampa. All right. Well, I think that's it. So I'll look just real quickly to see. All right. Saw some questions. Suicide weekend. Would we know? Yeah, I think we definitely will know. Another monkey opinion is that I think when you hear the suicide weekend, it's going to be people that realize that President Trump is still President Trump and that they were not able to oust him. And I think that's going to cause a lot of people, you know, take the easy option out. So that's what I think is going to happen. Just, again, my opinion, but we'll see. We are getting very close to this stuff happening. Very close. So stay frosty. And just one more run through here. I see a lot of stuff. The board's pretty active right now. So got a lot of people in here. All right. Nope. Okay. I think I see anything else going on here. Somebody was asking about XPL. So I think I just covered that. All right. Well, you guys, listen, stay safe. If anything else pops, I get another aircraft drops into Guantanamo Bay, I will definitely hop on and go live and show you guys, and we'll talk about it. We'll do a little more research on the type of aircraft and what's going on. I'm fully expecting that the Maxwell 312FU aircraft to pop up somewhere. And if it goes from DC down to Guantanamo Bay, then I know some news is getting ready to pop. We've got some people going to jail. So, well, we've been waiting for it all. So this is it. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe and like button, you guys, and the notification so that you'll get notices, hopefully, when I go live. So that's it. You guys be safe. God bless. Monkey out.